Hey everyone, Hassan here. It's time for another Ressha Sentai ToQger review. This is the Daikaiten Cannon. This thing is massive. So unlike my traditional reviews, I'm not gonna put it on the table and do it. I'm gonna show you up close this thing because it's pretty huge, so I can't really position it in front of my camera like I usually would. Yeah, I mean this thing, it's big. The box is big too. I'll show you the box right here. So here it is right here. This is the box that it comes in. I got this from CS Toys, I think. I think this one was from CS Toys. I got some other stuff recently from Image Anime, but this one was from CS Toys. Came pretty quickly. Daikaiten Cannon. So this is used, I believe it's their weapon that they use, you have ToQger Ichigo and his hyper mode or whatever they call it. He used the Hyper Ressha. I am pretty behind on ToQger, gotta be honest with you. So, I don't know anything about this on the show. I do plan on catching up soon, but I can just tell you just from what I can see right here. But it does come with the Hyper Ressha right there, and you can see a cool image of the ToQger right there. You got the Hyper ToQger Ichigo, which is pretty cool. On the side there as well, so you see him there, and it shows how you can use the ToQger changer right here, sold separately. And you have this here, and it shows how you can use some of the different Ressha on here. The bottom is the same as the top, and we got the back right here, which shows you all the fun stuff that you can do. So you can use the Hyper Ressha on here, and you can also use a bunch of other kinds of Ressha on here. So you definitely have that functionality, which is pretty cool. So this is going to be a long video, I'm warning you now, because there's actually a lot to this toy. There's a lot of different things. First things first, I do want to show you the Ressha that it comes with. This is the Hyper Ressha. So up close little look here. This thing, let me kind of position the camera down a little bit. This thing looks pretty decent. I feel like, at least from the pictures on the box, that there should be more gold. Kind of to match like the Hyper ToQger Ichigo armor and stuff, but it's not really a gold. It's more of like a yellowish color, but like a dark yellow kind of, if that makes any sense. So so that's one thing to know, but it looks kind of neat, I suppose. It looks okay. It serves its purpose, I guess. So there's that. And I'll use it with the ToQger changer. So this alone already has a bunch of extra sounds. So let's turn this thing on. I'm gonna show you a bit more up close here. So it says Hyper Ressha when you do that. And then of course you have your different buttons here. Can't really show on the other side. So this is like to actually do the henshin and everything, so let's do that. So it says Hyper ToQger Ichigo. Once you do it, it defaults to ToQger Ichigo. You can also, I'll do the Summon Ressha sound. Okay, that's pretty cool. You can also swap Ressha as well, so the middle button is for the swap, so let's do that. And we'll swap it with, let's just get the car carrier Ressha, why not? Just something random. So it went from Hyper ToQger Ichigo to ToQger Ichigo car carrier. And if I did the transformation or the henshin back, swapping back, I mean. So that's what it does. And then the other thing that you can actually do is, let me actually take this out. Let's say I actually wanted to become ToQger Nigo, I think it is. So first, if I henshin to that, oops, I'll push the henshin button there. So I've become ToQger Nigo, right? Well, I can actually now, if I take it out and add just normal henshin with the Hyper Ressha, so I'll press the henshin button. That's not right. Oh, actually, sorry, I apologize. You have to actually ToQger Nigo, I'll henshin. Now I swap trains, that's what I meant to do, with the Hyper Ressha. So you actually become Hyper ToQger Nigo. So actually any of the ToQgers can use the Hyper Ressha. I don't know if that's how it is on the show. I'm assuming it is. I haven't seen it. Including the 6th ToQger right here. So you can actually do the same thing with that. Again, I don't know if that's how it is on the show. But let me do the henshin here. Okay, and then I can go, and I have screwed that one up, whoops. Wrong one, where am I going? Yeah, I apologize. There's so many sounds to keep track of that I just can't even keep track of it all. Alright, so I have that, swap trains. So again, that works with any of the ToQger ones, the main ToQger ones. They can all become hyper versions. So that's kind of what I wanted to show there. Sorry, I did a terrible job of illustrating that, but that's essentially, you can get some cool little functionality with the Hyper Ressha and the ToQger changer. But now, for the actual Daikaiten Cannon, so you got this thing. It actually comes in pieces. Each of these little things was separate in the box, and then you just attach it on just like that. So you have all 4 on the sides there. But yeah, this thing is pretty huge, as you can see. Here's what it looks like there. Pretty basic design up top. Bottom just looks like that. You can kind of see the sides there. So not much more to it there. The front part is kind of where most of the design is. Little cannon area, a little bit of a design there. Not much more to it. It's a pretty simple design, but I like the idea that they went for with this. I like the concept because this thing rotates around and you can make all the Ressha kind of drive up and down the track a little bit. And it's kind of neat actually the way they did it. So you have 2 little grips here. So this trigger is for like the blasting of the weapon, and this one here is to fire. If I push the trigger on the front one, that fires forward basically. So that's one thing there. And if I pump up the first one, so if I pump this up, you'll see I can pump that. So this moves. And it's hard to see, but there's a little arrow right there up top. So it's essentially like you slide the train up here. So if I take the Hyper Ressha and I just slide it in just like that. So I can kind of move this around. And if it's up front, I can push the trigger and it will fire like that. So that's essentially how it works. And you can also slide this backwards, and each of these little pieces here, there's a little, it might be kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see inside of this. There's a little hook there. So essentially you can take the back of the train and hook it in like that. So you can do that for 5 of the things, not the front part which shoots, but the other 5 pieces you can hook on Ressha on there. So anyways, let's get to the actual sounds. So the on-off switch is on the actual little circle here. So typical sound for most of the stuff turning on for ToQger. And essentially, you have this trigger back here to blast. That's the sound that it makes. This one here, every time you pump it up and this moves, it makes that sound. And if I were to fire this forward and blast, it doesn't do anything because there's no Ressha on it. So what you can do is a couple different things. You can take the Hyper Ressha, and we'll slide this in. And it just plays this music on a loop. It's kind of cool music. So it plays this on a loop, and what you can do is you can either fire it right away, or I can pump it up and make it turn around. But either way, once you do it all the way around, and it's lined up again to go forward, it plays this sound. And what you can do, pulling this back trigger doesn't do anything. You have to pull the trigger for the front one to shoot it forward. And it says that, and then the sound keeps going, and then you pull the back trigger to actually make the firing sound. So there's that. When you slide it back, it makes a sound, as well as the sound to take it out. So you can basically, to sum it up, slide that in, it reads the Ressha, Hyper Ressha, and then I can fire it forward and blast with the trigger back here. Or, the other thing is, once you slide it in, you can circle it all the way around. And then you fire it and do the blast. So, just to kind of sum it up, you have the ability to move it around, or you can just go ahead and shoot it forward right away. So a lot of sounds so far already. But that's just the beginning of it. This thing actually does read each individual Ressha, and it has its own unique sounds for each of the Ressha, which is absolutely amazing. So that's what I want to do next. I want to show you all of the individual sounds that you can do. You can actually do even more sounds with a bunch of Ressha on here together, but I'm going to show that at the end. So we'll go through each of them one by one. Red Ressha right here. So I'm not going to circle it around. Hold on, I talked over it. I'm not actually going to circle it around for each of them. I'm just going to do the quick firing just so you get it. Let's blast. Oops. So that's pretty cool. It says Hyper Red Ressha, and it does make that blasting sound there. Alright, we got our blue Ressha right here. Pretty cool. So again, you got your Ressha, yellow Ressha. And then I'm using the first trigger to fire, and the second trigger to actually make the blasting sound. Alright. Green Ressha. Okay. Pink Ressha. Next we got the Police Ressha. They did not skimp out on the sounds. That's what I love about it. Some of the other blasters and stuff, it didn't matter which Ressha you use, it made the same sound. This one actually reads the Ressha, which is amazing. That's probably why it's also more expensive. Car carrier. So many sounds in this thing. This thing actually is pretty heavy too, so it's kind of like hurting my arms. And then all of the Safari Ressha all make the same sound. Okay. And last but not least, I have the Rainbow Ressha. So this one actually says Special Ressha when you put it in here. I messed that one up, hold on. So there you go there. That is what that one does. So that is all of the individual Ressha sounds that it makes here, but that is not all. This thing actually does even more. So what you can actually do is you can put, 5 Ressha on here. Doesn't matter which 5, but it will, if you have 5 on here, then it will play an extra sound. So what you can do is I'm just going to attach it like so. So I'll just attach red. You can, if you wanted to, you could like move this and then like, you know, stick this in here and slide it back, or you can kind of use that as a track, but that's up to you. I'm just going to move it. We'll start it back in the neutral position here. So I'm just going to attach, actually, I think from the pictures, I might be doing this wrong. I'm going to try and match what the pictures show of those 5 there, and then I think this goes here. So I think it's supposed to look something like this. So it looks pretty cool actually when you have all the Ressha here, all the different colors. I think that looks pretty cool. And then you add in the Hyper Ressha here. And it does your typical sound, right? But now, if I were to cycle around, it'll actually count. Unfortunately, depending on how you have it arranged, it's not going to count. Like, this is not number 1, 2, it's, you know, it's in different order, but as it goes through, it'll count in order. So. So it's gone through all 5, and now it's going to go finally, you know, to be lined up here. So a slightly different sound, I think. And then when you fire it, it's something different. I think once I actually press the trigger. Ready? So that's pretty cool. So it actually makes that huge sound there. Now, I tried all sorts of different combinations. It doesn't matter which combination of Ressha that you have, which 5, as long as there are 5 there. I think the instructions, as far as I know, there's so many sounds in here that it's possible I might be missing something, and I don't understand Japanese, so I couldn't fully understand the instructions. But like, you know, if I put the police here, you got your tank, and car carrier, and the drill, and the fire Ressha, right? And then you grab the Hyper Ressha in the middle. Now as I circle around, so again, it doesn't matter which Ressha that you have in there, as far as I can tell. Now, if I were to actually include, I haven't tried this yet actually, what if I put the red Ressha in the middle and I had all 5? Let's see what happens. So it doesn't actually count. Gotcha. Okay, so the only special sound is if Hyper Ressha is in the middle. That's when it does that whole special thing there. But just for fun, I'll kind of show you what some of the other combinations look like. Like if I had all of the Safari Ressha in here, that would kind of look interesting as well. Let's grab those in whatever order. I'm just putting random stuff here. Skip all that. So pretty cool. Like I said, lots of different possible combinations of Ressha. So not only do you get the Hyper Ressha, which works with the ToQger changer, and it makes its own sounds on its own, you can use this thing for each individual Ressha to have a special sound, and the whole combo of Ressha definitely makes it even better, which is really cool. So I definitely think that's a big plus there, because you have so many different Ressha's, so many different sounds, and it's really cool. So I'm gonna turn the sound off on this thing. Yeah, I mean, this thing, it's a huge size, really good weight to it. It's pretty heavy, actually. And kind of a little bit back heavy, too, so if you try and hold it with one hand, it's going to put some weight on your hand, too, so you got to be prepared for that. But I think it looks pretty cool. Definitely a lot of functionality here, and I love having so many different sounds and everything with the stuff. That is awesome. So I'm a big fan of this. I definitely think if you have a bunch of the Ressha that you've been collecting over time with ToQger, this thing is going to be all the more better just because of all the sounds that you can get. So definitely check this out. The Daikaiten Cannon, I think that's what it is. It's kind of pricey. I don't remember the exact amount, and it's going to vary depending on where you buy it online. But just be prepared, you know, that this is a truly like deluxe item, so it is going to be a bit more on the pricier side. But I think it's worth it. I'm actually very surprised by it. I was not expecting much, and I was definitely not expecting individual sounds for every Ressha, but it actually does do that. So really cool. And this is so much fun to, like, you know, fire this thing. On the actual, the other bazooka, the Renketsu bazooka, when you fire it and you try and move this back and take the Ressha out, it almost feels like you're gonna break the Ressha, and I hate that. But this actually feels very sturdy. It's a very similar connector as to that of the ToQ Changer when you slide it in and out. So it feels pretty good. Like, it doesn't feel like you're gonna break anything, which is a huge plus. So I definitely recommend it. I think it's great to have, I'm excited to see how this thing, works with any other stuff that comes out soon. And are there any more Ressha coming out? I don't even know if there are any more individual Ressha coming out. There's other stuff though, but yeah, really cool stuff. So definitely check it out. This is the Daikaiten Cannon. Please share this video. Give it a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more ToQger reviews coming up, then please share the video, because if people don't watch, then you know, there's no incentive for me to continue purchasing Sentai stuff. So if you like it, please do share it and let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you guys later.